Okay, so now that we hopefully understand our skeleton and we kind of know how the SFML code structure works, let's fill in this little skeleton and actually create our very first SFML game. The game we're going to be making today, the idea is completely Dr. Huwaida's amazing TA Mai, who is much more competent than I am. We should all thank her for this amazing idea. Um, Basically, it's a very cute little idea. We're gonna have basically two emojis, a cute emoji and a sad emoji and cute emoji. Okay, oops, wrong. Sad emoji and cute emoji. Okay, and these emojis, one of them is gonna move. Um, one of them is going to move bill arrow keys, and another one is gonna move with the ASDW keys. You know, in those old games. I don't even know if those are the right keys, but basically, A will move it to the left, D will move it to the right, S will move it down, and W will move it up. We'll have a sad emoji because it's sad. It'll move with the keyboard keys, and we'll have happy emoji because it's happy. Because in life, happy things get happy and like outcomes. It'll move with the arrow keys. Um, Okay, let's start filling in our skeleton. And now we're going to open this code that I posted in the last video. We're going to open it and ask, what do I do? Okay, in order to create this game, what things do I need? It says declare all of the variables that I need, do any initializations here. Okay, let's do that. I need the emojis. How do I create these emojis? I can't just say emoji happy, emoji sad. No. In SFML, we have, again, I always recommend opening the documentation and reading it if there's something I don't understand. My emoji is a circle. So what I'm going to do, هفتح the classes هنا, and I'm just gonna control find circle. There it is, circle shape. I'm telling you now that this is the one. By the way, don't get overwhelmed by all of these things. There's like 90% of these things I don't even understand. Like, just control find, and you don't need to understand everything here. This is just a very helpful guideline in case you don't know the syntax. But I already know, because I took this class and I already know how it works. I know that my circle is something called circle shape. That's the thing that I'm making. In order to create that emoji, I have to create something called circle shape, which is basically a circle. Let's declare it and look at it. Okay, فهعمل circle shape. See, I don't even know if I spelled that properly. If I go back to the documentation and check circle shape, okay, good. Circle shape, I'll call it circle. Okay, and let's see what things circle like. We could really read through this documentation and see like all of these functions. Set radius ما طبعا عشان لازم يبان الcircle. Let's circle dot set radius. Let's give it a radius of 50, and then circle dot set position. Give it what position? Our window is 800 by 600, but let's put it in the center. This is definitely incorrect math, but let's see. I already know these functions. But the point here is there's gonna مثلا you're gonna find yourself wanting to do things that maybe you don't really know how to do. For how do you find them? You look through the documentation. But I already know this, but like, so there's no need for us to keep going back. Like, I already know that to make a circle, I need to set the radius and set the position. But to draw it, I'm going to explain all of this later. I just want you to see what a circle looks like. فهعمل window. Remember, we'll go down to this section here, draw any of the things I declared to the screen that I want to be visible. Well, I do want my circle to be visible, so I'll do window.draw circle. I think that's what I named it. My memory is horrible. Let's draw it and see what happens. Oh my god, I can't spell. Okay. Okay, yeah, no, I really can't spell the word circle. That's why I'm a CSTA, not in English. That's why I'm in SSE, not HUS. Okay. Where is... Let's build... Oh, here it is. Okay, good. So it drew the circle at position, whatever the position I gave it. Very good. But I want an emoji. For how do I add an image, one of my own images? By the way, something really important that you should know, when you come to add images on top of squares or circles or whatever SFML shapes you have, choose something that has no background. Like, see how here she chose an image that has no like background. Do that. It'll usually be in PNG or GIF format. Okay, so how do I add an image on top of my shape? That you do that by declaring something called a texture. Um, again, this can all be found in the documentation, but I already know how to do this. I'm telling you, but like when I came to find out, I did it through the documentation. But for you might like when you find me saying, "Oh, you have to set a texture," you might be like, "Oh, where did she get that?" Basically, how you do that is you open the documentation and you Google. You say how to add image on top of circle in SFML, and you'll read and you'll discover that there's such a thing as textures and stuff like that. Like that is basically the process you're going to be doing when you're doing your project. You're going to have to Google and read the documentation a lot and experiment and try and stuff like that. But to add any image to any shape, you do a texture. What is a texture? It's just as the name implies. It's a thing, an image that fills your shape. That's a texture. But to add a texture, you do circle dot set set texture. Again, I could get this from the documentation, so I already know this one. And then you give it your texture object. So you have to declare texture. A texture, and I'll name it T. Actually, let's give these better names. Since we're going to start with the emojis, let's do circle shape sad and circle shape cute. Okay. Sad dot set radius 50. Sad dot set position 40. Texture sad T, cute T. Haha, cute T. Okay. Okay, so we need to load that image onto the textures from the file. I already have my path. I already know where I put them. I'll do sad T dot load. See, I forgot the syntax. But what am I gonna do? I'm gonna open the documentation. I'll go back up here to the classes. I'll control find texture until I find the SFML texture. I'm gonna click on that, and then I'll load from file. So that's the syntax. Load, it's not a capital, load from file, and I'll give it my path, which I know. This is sad, right? Sad face.png. I believe that's what I named it. Let's see if that works. Oh, oops. Oh, and I'm gonna have to give it, okay, it says sad. Now I'm gonna set the texture. Also, I loaded the texture, so now sad T contains this sad face image, and I need to place it onto the circle that I named sad, because that's the circle that I'm going to be moving and working with. You can't move a texture. Texture is it's just what you fill your image with, but you're working with your circles. Sad T, I'll set the texture. Oh, oops, it's not sad T. That's very wrong of me. Sad. I need to set the texture on my circle. Sad.set texture, sad T. Another syntactical thing that you need to know is that it takes a reference to a texture. It doesn't take a texture. That's just whoever created SFML made it that way. You always have to pass the address of your texture. But let's see. Hopefully we should see our sad thing on the screen. Because I cannot. Alright, okay. Did I do sad or cute? I think I did sad. Yeah. Okay. Great. Excellent. That totally describes our life in coronavirus. Perfect. Okay, let's do the same thing for the cute circle. Okay, for cute dot set radius 50. Cute dot set position. I'll give it the opposite position, just an initial position. And then qt load from file. I'm gonna explain how I get them to draw on the screen later. But I want you to see. Oh, cute. We need to set. Okay, so now we filled our texture qt with the cute face image. طبعا we have to put it on the circle. How do we do that? Like we did, set texture, and we give it a reference to our texture variable, which is named qt. And then I'm gonna draw it. Window.draw Cute. Okay. See what I'm doing? I'm like, every step I take, I verify it. I run my code. I make sure that it's actually showing up. Great. So now I know that if I, like, had I not done this and a mistake happened, I would have so much more code. I wouldn't be able to tell what the problem is. So now if I ever have a mistake, I know it's not, the mistake is not going to be from these lines. Oh, it's not going to be from this because, oh, it's working fine the way it is. Again, I'm going to explain this window.draw thing, but basically it's pretty straightforward. Like I said under this comment that you'll find in your skeleton, draw any of the things I declared on the screen that I want to be visible. Well, I want my sad face to be visible, and I also want my cute thing to be visible. If you have a maze game, if you have players, you're going to have to do window.draw for every single thing, anything that's there, you need to draw it, otherwise it won't know that it needs to be drawn. Okay, we did this. Remember, in our skeleton, we declared everything and we initialized, and we did any initializations that we needed in this area of the code. I'm not going to touch my skeleton here. I'm going to just, I'm going to check على events بتوعي. So, like we said, for a happy circle, the cute circle, it's going to move with the right and left and stuff like that keys, and with the sad one, it's going to move with the arrow keys. So I need to check on an event, and that event is going to be my key pressed. Okay, again, key pressed exit, like we said. Remember, we did key in the last video. We talked about event.key.code. What I'm really going to do here, and this logic is going to happen in here, inside this while loop. And this is where you check on your event. This, remember, we said that this line is what captures the event that happened, right? So here is where I check on the event. Hina I declared it, and here it took its variable from the user. And hina, this is like our cin. This is where whatever thing the user did was captured, and it's ready to be used in this while loop, within this larger while loop. Okay? I don't like if statements. Let's do a switch statement. Okay, let's see. أول حاجة, we want to make sure, again, remember there could be several different types of events. We want to make sure the event was a key press. Okay? Let's keep that as an if statement. فهقول if event dot type equal a key press. Then I'm going to check. Here, let's add a comment. If my user clicked a button, مش clicked, that's confusing, pressed button on their keyboard, I will be inside this if statement. What is the button they pressed? Let's do a switch statement. A switch. And what are we going to switch on? Remember, like we did last video, where is the key that was pressed saved? It's saved in event.key.code. فأقول switch event.key.code. And here I'm going to do all of my cases. I'm going to get rid of this because all this if statement does is it just closes the window if the escape key was pressed. But let's give that a case. If the key was escape, we have to do keyboard, I believe. Keyboard escape. Then close my window. This exits this while loop. Closes the window, everything ends, and you're back here. So this is like once you close the window, you're here, which nothing really needs to happen here, unless you want to see out window closed in the console, yani. But like we don't want to do that. Just closes the window. Okay. Again, I'm gonna run this just to make sure I didn't ruin anything, and my window does close when I press the escape key. Okay. Okay, good. That worked. I didn't ruin anything. So let's add the cases for my moving. Let's start with moving the cute emoji. Okay, so I'll do case, and I'll start with the left. Okay, and I'm gonna do logic here. I'm gonna break. Okay, how do I move my circle? I have a circle, cute, and I want to move its position. Obviously, there has to be a function that I call on cute. Yani I'm gonna obviously want to do something like cute.moveLeft or something, and I'll give it however many pixels I want it to move by. But again, as always, you know what I'm gonna say. Let's look at the documentation. Well, let's go back here and look at circles. So I already know the answer, but I just really want you to see like how this works. But there's actually a function named move. I'm gonna control find move. But move, here it is. Okay, here this documentation tells me. It tells me you give move 2 parameters, you give it 2 floats, and how this works is, hina it says, whatever position your object is in, it adds the first parameter that you give it to its x position, and it adds the second parameter that you give it to its y position. Okay, this is what this move function does. فلما أعمل, so when I do cute, and this move function works on a circle shape, and cute is a circle shape. For move, and it's going to take two parameters, two numbers, and left, and whatever number it takes here on the left, so whatever it takes here, whatever, like those two numbers between, whatever number it takes here, it's going to add this number to its x position. But if I want to move left, I want to decrease my x position. When I'm moving to the left, I'm decreasing my x position. So I'm going to say minus by how many pixels? Let's move it by 10 pixels. And طبعا when I'm just moving left, I don't want anything to happen to the right. فهنا نفتح الdocumentation تاني. I give it minus 10 and 0. So what am I really doing? Whatever position it has, I'm subtracting 10 from that in the x, and I'm leaving the y, I'm adding 0 to it. I did nothing. So what should happen here is in cute, its position is 300. But once I press the left key, the position will be 300 plus 10 and 400. Let's again run to make sure that works and that I'm not doing anything wrong. So I'm going to press the left key, and cute should move to the left, hopefully. It moved, and it's moving and moving and moving and moving. Great. Let's do the right. Case keyboard right cute.move. If I'm moving to the right, I'm increasing my x position, and I'm keeping the y position as it is, and I'm breaking. Okay, let's do case keyboard up. If I'm moving up, I'm leaving my x position as it is, and I'm just playing with the y. And if I'm going up, then I need to decrease my y value. And you know what? If you get it wrong, when you run it, you'll see that you did something wrong, and you'll just change it. But I'm pretty sure that's right. Case keyboard down cute.move 0 and then 10. عشان it's the opposite. And break. Now let's run this and make sure I haven't done anything wrong. Okay, down, up, down. Perfect. So cute's working. Time to do sad. Moving the cute emoji. Let's make this comment over here. Let's make it go back a bit. Perfect. Okay, and then let's do moving the sad emoji. Moving the sad emoji. I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna copy and paste this, and I'm just gonna change it. Keyboard left. احنا قلنا I want A to move it left, and I want the D key to move it left. I want the W key to move it up, and I want the S key to move it down. Okay, let's run and see. Okay, I am pressing the A key, so sad. Oh, cute is moving. Yeah, because I'm moving cute, so I have to do sad dot move, sad dot move, sad dot move, sad dot move. That should work. I'm gonna press my A key, and hopefully sad will move. Yay! Now my down key, I'm moving cute. That's it. We have our very first SFML game. Yay, we're happy. Okay, I'm gonna press the escape key, and that should close it. And that's it.